Good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy coffee and a card day. This is episode 3. And as always, I'm going to give it a few seconds for people to find this in their feed so they can join me live. And we're going to craft together. So as you are logging on, please do say hello. I love seeing your names pop up and I love seeing your comments, and it fuels me so that I keep wanting to do these Facebook Lives because I feel like I get to hang out with friends on Sunday mornings. Good morning, Lena. How are you doing? How is your weekend going? How's everybody's weekend going? I hope you guys are having a good weekend. It's super cold here in Ontario. For those of you that live in Ontario, you know that. It's cold. But it is actually really nice to see snow on the ground, and it just feels like winter. And then I enjoy being able to be home and be cozy and warm. So my kids really enjoyed playing in the snow yesterday, just in the backyard, and they went tobogganing for a bit. But anyway, I'm going to say good morning to a few friends. Lots of retreat prep happening for Lena. Good morning, Sandra. Your coffee's ready. Good morning, Aviva, Beth, Selena. Hello, my friends. Thanks for joining me. What kind of coffee is everybody having? Or are you having coffee? Are you having tea? Are you having hot water? Good morning, Janice. I have another mug today. I think I might have 4 different mugs. So after episode 4, they're going to be repeating. So you'll start to see different mugs. But let me tell you a little bit about this mug. It's a little scratched up. It's old and well loved. And I got it from my sister, and it's got cacti on it. And it says, "Can't touch this." I just think it's hilarious. And the inside of it is green, which I love. So my sister bought that for me, I think for my birthday or something a long time ago. And I love the mug. Good morning, Joanne. Thank you for joining. Starbucks Cafe Verona. Okay, that's my coffee of choice. Let me tell you a little bit about the little coffee mishap this morning. And you can see that I've got some work to do with these grays. That's actually on my agenda for today. My hairdresser had dropped off a root touch-up kit. This might be too much information. I'm sorry. She dropped off a root touch-up kit, which I had ordered from her 2 weeks ago, like just before our stay-at-home order started. And I haven't had a chance to do it because I've been so busy with my stamp camp and bingo. So today the roots are getting covered. Anyway, I have no problems with grays. It's just that mine like stick right up off my head. Like they don't actually blend into the rest of my hair. So anyway, let's talk coffee for a second. We have a Keurig machine, and I only like the Starbucks Verona K-Cups. Like nothing, we've tried so many different kinds. I just find that there's really no other one that I enjoy. And I mentioned it probably a couple of weeks ago that I drink my coffee black. So I really taste the coffee. I can't kind of mask it with cream and sugar or anything. So anyway, I had my first coffee this morning and didn't really kind of keep track of how many were left. And then I went to make my second, and there's no more Cafe Verona K-Cups. So we're having like a little emergency in our house. I know, first world problems, right? So I do have a bag of Godiva hazelnut ground coffee, and then I have like the reusable pods. So I made that, which is, it's not a bad, it's a good second, but yeah, I'm missing my Cafe Verona. No name coffee. Aviva has to save up the big bucks for Stampin' Up supplies. I know, right, Lena? Like that's the perfect emoji, having a local variety. Oh, jumping bean East Coast roast. Oh, nice. What else do people have? You're fighting, you've given up. It's a losing battle. PC dark roast. Okay, Sandra, we have a big tin of the PC dark roast, and we use our reusable pods with it, but I find that it tastes different every time. So sometimes it's a good strength, and then other times it just tastes like water. And that might be a function of my machine because I know what's in the tin is not changing. But anyway, I'm picky about my coffee, and right now, because I'm not leaving the house to get coffee, I just need to make sure I have a really good cup. And today is probably a 3-cup kind of day. Kick-ass coffee. Is that actually a brand, Denise? Because that sounds interesting. Good morning, Mindy. Mindy, but you've got light-colored hair. I feel like you have nothing else to do. You have light-colored hair. Like when you have black hair, it's just like there's just no covering it up. And you see what I mean about these? Okay, I'm getting a little too comfortable with all of you. My husband would be like freaking out because he thinks I'm like, he's like, he thinks I need to be a little bit more polished, but I just, you guys, this is the real me, okay? So I'm not even going to pretend here. I could sit here and chat coffee and gray hair with you guys all day. Let me tell you about my weekend. I had my stamp camp yesterday. It was a virtual stamp camp. We had 55, maybe 56 people join us, and we actually had people from 2 different countries. So it was from all over North America, essentially. So we had some people from Canada who joined, and then I partnered with my friend Jennifer Hill, one crafty sister, and she had invited a lot of her people to join, so we actually put it together. So we actually had a virtual stamp camp. We're in the same time zone, so it worked out perfectly. We had 55 people together on Zoom, and we crafted all day, and we had product presentations. People got all sorts of little fun goodies. So what we tried to do was just to create like a really fun package for people to get. So when I was doing my in-person events, people would get their bag with their goodies, they would get some product swag, and then they would get pillow gifts, and there would be snacks and lunch and treats throughout the day. So because it's virtual, you have to kind of try and create that experience for people in a different way. So, so we did. I think we achieved that. I think people felt really good about what they got in their packages and enjoyed opening them, and lots of little handmade touches and stuff. So it was a really, really fun day. But afterwards, I sat on the sofa and I literally could not peel myself off of it because I had a bingo the night before and then stamp camp yesterday and all the prep that happened in the 2 and 3 weeks prior. So it was a super fun day. My heart was full. I just love being able to connect with people right now, especially in the midst of this pandemic. So it was really awesome. We're doing it again on June 5th. So Jen and I had a lot of fun working together. We're going to do it again. And we will be featuring products from the new annual catalog, which will drop in early May. So I will be posting details about that. It's already, I think it's more than half full because a lot of people that joined yesterday wanted to re-register. So we always give them the opportunity to register first. And so I'll open it up and then we have limited spots available because while we can all connect on Zoom, we still want to kind of keep the group at a reasonable size so that we don't have like 5 screens of people and that sort of thing. So we are going to limit, and also because prepping and cutting and shipping those packages takes several hours. And right now in the pandemic, it's hard to get helpers to come over because we're trying to abide by guidelines. Okay, I'm just going to stop talking soon, but you're on the lake ice fishing, Joy? Oh my goodness. Thank you, Janice. Yeah, I'm sad that you had to watch some of it on replay, but totally understand. And yes, everything is available, tutorials, videos, all of it. So, and Denise and Sandra, we would love to have you join us. And yes, Lena, exhausted, but like on a high at the same time. You probably understand that feeling after doing your retreats and stuff. Okay, before any of you run away, I promise I'm going to be doing some crafting. So let me tell you, I'm going to show you first how, because I talked about how a happy accident became the inspiration for my card. So when I was cutting for Stamp Camp, I had cardstock all over my desk, and I was trying to put it away after I would finish cutting a card, and, you know, just like tried to keep the desk area a little bit neat, but that's not always doable when you're cutting. Like, let's do the math here. I think I cut 36 packages for Stamp Camp times 10 people. So 360 cards worth of paper was cut for Stamp Camp, and then 35 people for bingo times 4. So that's 140, I think. Yeah. So 140 plus 360 is 500 card packages. And there was lots of die cutting and lots of cardstock to be, you know, cut and all of that. So it was pretty intense, but I had a moment where I was about to put stuff away and I saw that there were 4 sheets of cardstock that were sitting on my desk. And these are 4 pieces of cardstock, or 4 colors I would never have thought to put together. But when I saw them together, I was like, oh my gosh, this needs to be a card. So this became the inspiration for my card today. And in case you can't tell because of the lighting, it's soft seafoam, petal pink, Coastal Cabana and Magenta Madness. Like, is this a color combo you've ever used before? Because if so, I bow down to you because it's such an amazing color combination, but I would never think of it on my own, okay? So let me flip the camera down. We're gonna do a little stamping. We are using the Pretty Perennials stamp set. So some of you probably already have it, if not all of you. And if you have it, I hope that this card inspires you to pull out your stamps and ink and use it, because it's inspired by, I think she might be a concept artist or on the design team. And so the layout is kind of inspired by that, but it's just like the colors are, I don't know, they make me happy. So let's flip this down. Let me just look here. You're living that reality. Oh my goodness, what just happened here? I don't know what I clicked. Okay. Lena, you're living that reality right now. I'm sorry for you, my friend. Okay, here we go. I'm going to flip this down. Let's see if this can work a little bit more smoothly. And my friend Denise Willerton always lets me know if I need to shift things around. So Denise, I'm glad you're on here for a bit so you can make sure that I'm, you know, where I'm supposed to be. I think it looks pretty good today. Okay, so let me know if you can't see stuff. So do you guys want to see the card first, or do you want me to show you how? Okay, so the card that I'm going to be doing is actually geared probably towards an avid crafter. So many of the people that have jumped on live and have said hello, I know that you're all avid crafters, so you will appreciate the card that I'm doing. But I also want to, let me mute that. I also want to show you how you can use our note cards and envelopes. So if you would consider yourself more of a beginner stamper, and if you just need to get a card done in a hurry, I'm going to show you how you can use our new basic white note cards and envelopes to make a really cute card using this stamp set. Okay, so I've got the note cards and envelopes. These measure 5 1/8 by 3 5/8 inches. Okay, so they're smaller than our regular A4 size or A2. I don't even know what the code is. So they're smaller than that, but I just want to show you how you can use these stamps to create a really cute card with just some ink, some note cards and envelopes, a stamp set, and some blocks. Good morning, Terry. Okay, yes, you want to see the finished card. Is that a consensus? I did a major boo-boo last time. Oh, bye, Denise. Okay, so let me show you quickly. So I showed you the color inspiration, but I feel like some of you might want to see what we're working towards today, okay? So here's the finished card. There are lots of layers and details on here, okay? This is not a card that you will want to do if you only have like 2 or 3 minutes. This is one that, you know, there's some different techniques involved, and well, by different techniques, I mean heat embossing. But I just want to show you how you can make a really simple card just using note cards and envelopes. And I don't know where my scrap paper is, so I'm gonna just look for a piece here on my desk, just because I know I'm going to be stamping off the edge a little bit. Okay, so you want, when you're just stamping your background, you want to obviously start with your biggest stamp because you can just fill in gaps later, okay? So I'm just going to start with my Magenta Madness, and I'm going to put down 2 of these large flowers for now. Then I'm going to go in because I want to use another flower, which is a little bit smaller. Oh, hello, Rhonda. Thank you. And thank you, Aviva. All right, so I'm gonna then go in with my petal pink. And I think I might do, I'm gonna do that one a little bit off the edge, and then maybe one here, and then one here, okay? And then I'm gonna go in with my Coastal Cabana, and I'm just going to use these little circles just to start to fill in some of the gaps, okay? So that's a little too close. I'm gonna go off the edge here and maybe a little here and then a little here. I have like a big empty space here that I don't love, but we'll fill that in with some leaves perhaps. So now I'm gonna take this larger leaf, and So you could see, like you could actually do a whole sheet of white cardstock and just stamp the whole background and then create your own designer series paper, which is a really fun technique to do. For the purposes of today, I'm not obviously going to do that. I'm just kind of stamping in whatever direction I feel works, okay? So, and I have a little mistake that I just made, but that's okay. And I do want something else in the center here. I'm not loving that space here. So let's see, maybe I'll do another Magenta Madness. Actually, I know what I'm going to do. I'll do this little doodad. I don't know what it's called. And I'm going to actually add in some Memento black. Okay, so just going to do some little splashes of this. And then what you could do is take any kind of punch out that you have. So I keep this stash of little punch outs here. That one's a little bit big. You could actually stamp directly onto your card, but you could also just stamp on some sort of, you know, any kind of die cut or something that you might have available to you. If I had thought ahead, like for example, I have my stitched scalloped rectangle, okay? So you could do something like that. And I've got happy stamped on it. And then I can just take birthday. And you know what? If you don't have access to a die cutting machine, you just need your trimmer and you can cut out a rectangle to the size that you want it to be. And you can just, you know, really you'd have a nice finished card like that. And then just to add a little fun element, you can actually just add some linen thread. Oh, thank you, Denise. You're sneaking in with the volume low. Okay, so let me just show you. This is not my card, obviously. I've shown you already what I'm going to be creating, but I just wanted to show you how you could create such a simple card with just some note cards and envelopes. So for those of you that are watching, that are beginner crafters, or like I said, you just want to really finish something fast, you will want to just grab our note cards and envelopes, and then you can create a cute project that way. So here's what I'm going to do with this. I'm just going to take, I've used my linen thread here, which I love, and I'm going to use that actually on my finished card. And I'm going to actually just stick it on the back of here, kind of in the corner. So I want it peeking out, but I don't want the whole bow showing. So then you can adjust it, right? So I can move that around a little bit, and then I just use my thumbnail to kind of curl the edges in the direction that I want them to go. And then we're going to attach this with some dimensionals. Okay, so put like 4 dimensionals. You could also stamp right onto the note card. So if you don't have a paper trimmer and you just wanted, and you just have the note cards and envelopes, you could literally just stamp right on here. Okay, so that's it. That's how easy it is to create a cute little note card with those same stamps and ink and a little bit of embellishment. What do you guys think of that? Oh yes, Denise, please. That's why I share these things. I want to encourage and inspire people, and you know, I get so much of my inspiration from watching others that I would be flattered. So there's a cute little birthday card. Literally took less than 5 minutes. Now let's get to the fancy pants card, okay? So I've got my materials, some of them cut out. Sorry, you're not supposed to see that. What I did want to show you is a little tip for fussy cutting, okay? Because I did heat emboss this sentiment, and you know what? I'm going to do that in a second. Let me do the stamping first because I've got all my ink out right now. And so I want to get all my stamping done, and then we'll get on to the rest of it, okay? So here is my layer that I'm going to be stamping on. And I'm going to use the same colors as I used for the first one. So let's start again with the Magenta Madness. Thank you, Janice. I'm glad you like the color combination. I'm not sure if you heard how this actually happened, but it was because I had 4 sheets of cardstock sitting on my desk as I was preparing for my stamp camp. And then when I saw them, they were literally laid out like this. They were larger sheets of cardstock. When I saw them together like that, instantly fell in love. This, you guys might see this color combination happening a lot in my craft cave these days because I kind of love it. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 large flowers here, and then maybe I'll do kind of one off the edge here and one off the edge there. Okay, so that's it for the Magenta Madness for now. Good morning, Kathleen. Okay, now we're going in with the Petal Pink. And if you know me, you know that I love anything pink. So the fact that this card has 2 shades of pink on it just makes me super happy. Okay. All right, so let me fill in some of these leaves now. Actually, no, I'm going to go in with my Coastal Cabana and do one there. Isn't it so happy? I know I was talking about how it feels like winter now that, you know, the snow has fallen. Oh, you know what? That's a bit too tight there, but we're going to try it anyway. Yeah, I was saying that with all the snow on the ground now, it really feels like winter because I felt like we weren't getting a lot of snow. But I'm not going to lie, I don't mind if spring comes early. I'm really wanting my kids to be able to get out and play. I just stamped that in the wrong ink pad. I should probably put away my Coastal Cabana. That was an accident waiting to happen. Okay, going back in with the soft seafoam, hoping I've got all the Coastal Cabana off. All right, so let's see. We're gonna go in with the other leaf here. It ain't always pretty the way these cards come together, but then when they do, they are pretty, I think. Okay, so there, we've like filled in some of the gaps here. Now, some people don't love having black on their cards. I actually really do. I think it gives it a really good contrast and a little bit of a modern look to it. So I'm gonna do these little black, we're gonna call it a doodad. If someone has a more technical term for what this is, I think they're supposed to be centers of flowers, but they just seem like they should be called doodads. Okay, and then I am going to stamp them in the centers just to add a little bit more contrast, and that one is way off, but maybe it'll get covered by something. Okay, and then lastly I'm going to do that. Now, I do like the way that this is coming together, but I do also really like kind of filling in some of the extra white space. So I'm going to use my black Stampin' Write marker, and I'm just going to create a little bit of a splatter look, okay? And so I'm going to actually go a little bit above my card. So I'm lifting it maybe like 6 inches off, and I'm just flicking the brush tip against the cap. So I'm going to go in with a really light hand because I don't want it to have too much black splatter on it, but it's just kind of giving it a little bit of, you know, just a little bit of a grungy look, but it's still very pretty, I think. So for my card club this month, they're going to be getting, actually, sorry, spoiler alert here, Janice, but they're going to be getting a black Stampin' Write marker because the cards I designed for that are a lot of black and white, and there's Highland Heather and Coastal Cabana. It's a really fun color combination, and but we want to do a little bit of the black splatter on the cards too. So, oh, thank you, Kathleen. Okay, so let me just start to put this down because I want you to see how this is going to start to come together. So what I've done here is I've used a black mat. So this pulls in the black, you know, the black splatter, and then some of the other black elements that are going to go onto this card. So it kind of pulls that in nicely, but the mat is only 1/8 of an inch. I feel like this is going to run out during my live today, so hopefully I have a backup close by. So the mat is just 1/8 of an inch larger than the white mat, okay? So the basic black is cut to 4 by 5 1/4, and then I just subtracted 1/8 of an inch and cut that a little bit smaller. So let me stick that down so you can start to see what the backdrop of this card is going to be. Oh, thank you, Sandra. I'm glad that you like it. And it's such an easy technique. If you have Stampin' Blends, if you have Wink of Stella, if you have any Stampin' Rite markers, you can just create that nice little splatter effect. So I'm just going to hold it up a little bit closer because I'm looking at my screen and it's probably a bit far for you to see it. Okay. So I'm not going to heat emboss on this episode, but I just want to show you this sentiment lends itself quite nicely to fussy cutting. Now, don't be scared and don't run away because I'm going to show you some tips for fussy cutting, but I'm not going to fussy cut the whole thing, okay? So you start with your scissors, and I think paper snips are the best for this job. You start by leaving just a little tiny outline around your embossed or stamped. You don't even have to heat emboss this, you can just stamp it. And so I'm keeping my scissors kind of half open and I'm turning the cardstock with my left hand because I'm right-handed. Actually, I'm just going to cut some of this off here. And I'm turning it with my left hand because I'm right-handed, but I'm not actually moving my scissors a whole lot. I'm just turning the actual cardstock and just making these slight turns every time I need to. So certainly with this, it's not obviously a rectangle, so you're going to have to do a lot of turning, but it's not as hard. I know there's a lot of people that don't love fussy cutting. It's not something that I do all the time either, but I feel like this sentiment, if I left it, you know, on a large rectangle, there's just too much of the black showing. So I just wanted that little bit of contrast with the white heat embossing on the black cardstock, but I don't want to leave it kind of too large, okay? So I promised I wasn't going to do the whole thing, so hopefully that gives you a sense. I'm just leaving a little bit of an outline around my sentiment, okay? And by the magic of Facebook Live, I have one done, okay? So you can see by leaving a little bit of an outline, it is just like, it's a little bit more forgiving, okay? So you have a little bit of room for error. Like for example, here, this edge is a little jagged, so... okay, see? There you go. And you can just see how that's going to stand out really nicely on the background. So let's do the rest of our card. So now I want to stamp another of these larger Magenta Madness flowers because that's going to go on my card because there are coordinating dies for this set. And if there are coordinating dies, we should of course use them on a fancy card. So I'm just going to stamp this. I probably should have my foam mat, so let's see if this works. Just going to stamp that, put down a little bit of pressure, and there we go. So I'm going to show you the dies because they're beautiful. You can already have a little bit of an idea of what some of the dies look like in here. So there are these beautiful outline dies, and then these layer really nicely on the images that you stamp and then cut out. So let me pull in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm just looking at some of the comments. It's a gorgeous sentiment, and I think you could do, yes, you could do a crappy job of fussy cutting and it would still be beautiful. Thank you, Denise. Oh, thank you, Mindy. Yeah, it just like the combo scream, Zara. That's like the nicest compliment because I was like, it's like the skies opened up when I saw that color combo. I'm like, why haven't I done this before? Okay, so I saved you the heartache of seeing me you know, clumsily bring my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine on the desktop so many times. So I did some of the cutting in advance. And I'm just going to cut this one piece out if I can figure out how it's supposed to go. There we go. Okay, so it's a really nice die, like in terms of it has some certain curves to it that will allow you to figure out how it's supposed to go. There is a way that it fits, and you can actually mark both your stamp with a Sharpie on the back side as well as your die so that it's easier for you to match up. Okay, I haven't done that yet with my dies, but it's certainly an easier way and will save you a little bit of time. So we have most of our little bits now and we can start to put it together. So I'm going to grab my liquid glue and let's hope it wants to work for me. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit on the back of this flower here. yesterday when I was doing my stamping demonstration during our stamp camp, and actually I'll show you the cards that we made after I'm done. Someone might need to remind me. Yeah, so I needed Tombow for my demonstration, and wouldn't you know, it just didn't work for me when I was supposed to be demonstrating my projects for everybody. So that was unfortunate, but I had a backup close by. Okay, so that flower is done. And so on my original card, I had used the Elegant Faceted Gems. On this one, I'm actually going to use the matte black dots. These are one of my favorite new embellishments. But before I do that, I want to stamp my sentiment, okay? So I'm going to take all the Memento black ink off of this, and I'm going to use my Coastal Cabana. So I'm going to stamp this on just a little piece, a scrap piece of white. Is that the right color? Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to stamp this on the back of here, and I'm going to fussy cut this out. Okay, so there is our birthday. I think this would make a really cute birthday card. I actually have someone in mind that I'm going to send this to, a friend of mine that just celebrated a birthday, and I think she'll love this card. I mean, it's so fun and cheery, right? Who wouldn't? Okay. Okay, so there we go. I think we've got all our little bits and bobs, and we're going to start to embellish. So I'm going to put this onto the leaves here. I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid glue right onto my leaves so that I can position the flower where I want it to go. Okay, so that looks good there. So that's going to go kind of a little bit higher. And then I'm going to use the Flowers for Every Season ribbon combo pack. And I'm going to cut 2 pieces of the white ribbon. I love the feel of this. It's like kind of like cheesecloth or gauze. And I just think it, because it's got some transparency to it, you can see through it, I just think it has a really beautiful look to it. So I'm going to cut one like that, and then let's do another one kind of in the opposite direction. Okay. And I'm just going to put a strip or a couple of strips right here onto my card, and I'm just going to stick these down like this. Maybe I did that strip a little. Maybe I should have stuck to one strip, but that's okay. It's going to get covered. All good. Okay. So then I'm going to use my mini dimensionals. Okay, hold on. You know what? I did that too high and my adhesive is showing, which I don't like. So let me do it this way. There we go. You can play around with this till you get it to where you want it to go. Okay, I think that's better, and most of my adhesive is covered. So what I'm going to use to put these on is my mini dimensionals, which are currently, they were hiding from me, but I've got them now. So when you fussy cut this, you still have some spaces to be able to put your mini dimensionals, okay? And so I want this popped up. And so I'm going to put one on almost every letter, just to make sure that nothing is sagging in the middle. What do you guys think so far of this? Do you like it? And then I'm just going to peel these off. I've sent my little birthday flying across my desk. I have to remember it's there. Okay. We are almost done, just the final bits, but I hope you can stick around and see the finished card. It's so pretty. Okay, there's the birthday. Oh, thanks, Denise. Denise, where's your lake house? I think you're in Winnipeg, right? Thank you, Brenda. So we're gonna keep going with our minis here and just put our little birthday piece. Whoops. Okay, just above where we have the ribbon, okay? And then I'm going to stick this down just flat. I don't want too many things popping up on my card. And I'm just going to tuck this in. Let's see, maybe I haven't left enough room. Okay, so note to self, you want to stick the flower down before you do your happy sentiment. Hang on, let's see. Let's see here. See if we can do some damage control here. See, you guys can see that it doesn't always come together perfectly, right? You gotta like adjust, you make little changes, modifications, but it ends up turning out beautifully. So now we are going to embellish. So for this one, so the first one I used the Elegant Faceted Gems. You know I'm going to ask you which one you like better, so be ready. And for this one, I'm going to use the matte black dots. And then you guys are going to tell me in Traverse Bay area. Ooh, White Sand Beach in the summer. I'm just looking at some of the comments here. Yes, break out your embossing powder. Thanks, Janet. I'm glad you like it. Yes, the color combo, you could do this with any floral stamp set, okay? So if you have the Pretty Perennials, go for it, give it a try. Please send me a picture of what you create. And if you don't have it, you probably have some flower stamp sets if you've been stamping for a while. And I would love to see what you create. We used yesterday for our stamp camp, I'm using the wrong tool to try and pick these up. Yesterday for stamp camp, we used the ice cream bundle and we used the In Bloom bundle. I think I want this here. I'm just going to leave all the black dots kind of at the top in a little triangle there. So we used the In Bloom bundle, which also has some really awesome florals in it. And so this card also could be recreated with that. And now, if I can find my linen thread, I'm going to add that on. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you guys like it. I love seeing all the hearts. I have to tell you, when you guys do the hearts and the thumbs up, it like just brings me such joy because I really do love stamping and sharing my cards with others. And so, and of course, I create what I like. So I don't expect everybody's always going to like it, but I will say when I see others showing it some love, it just makes my heart happy. Okay, so this bow wants to fight today, but it's going to go right here, just over to the side. And the reason I chose linen thread, so we have some different options. We could have used the white twine from the Snail Mail combo pack. There's also the Playful Pets, which has the black and white, and there's obviously lots of black and white. But I do feel like because there's some black, and some cool colors on here, I wanted to add some warmth. So that's why I chose to use the linen thread on here. You could even leave it as it is, but I just thought that I would add some linen thread. You could also do a double bow, lots of different options here. So there we go. And that is the finished card. What do you guys think? I'm so happy to see all these comments about how you love the color combination. So just to show you, this is, and I didn't put any of the matte black dots on here, but if I could, you wouldn't even believe how quickly things get buried on my desk. I cleaned it off this morning because it was a disaster after stamp camp yesterday. And it's already now covered with stuff and I can't find things. But here, let's put some black dots on here. And again, you could stamp the black centers in here if you wanted, but this is just to show you how easy it is to do this type of look on a note card with very few supplies. And then this is our stepped up card. But let me bring the one in from the that I did as my sample. So this one here has the Elegant Faceted Gems, which I've done as the center here, and then I've got it on the sides here. So tell me which one you like better between the two as far as the embellishments go. And then, yeah, I'm so glad that you guys like this combination. Yes, linen thread is my fave too. I think I have about 3 rolls of this on hand. So as soon as I use one, I order another because there has been a time where I desperately wanted and needed linen thread and then I didn't have it. But I hope Stampin' Up! I will cry. I'm telling you, I will cry if Stampin' Up! Ever retires linen thread. And then I'll also buy 100 packs. So there might not be left for any of you. So, well, let's see what everyone thinks. People are loving the pop of black dots. Awesome. Love the matte black dots. Thank you. I'm glad you like it, Shams. Sandra, I'm going to post a link because I did do, it's a Google form where I posted information about my upcoming events. So I have on there, I have Stamp Camp, and then I have 2 bingos coming up, one in March, one in June, and then I have my monthly card club. And I want to say here that the card club is not, it's not commitment based. So you could try it for 1 month and not ever do it again. However, for those that do it for 6 months, you're going to get a free product credit from me for $25. Okay, so it's basically we choose a stamp set or bundle each month. I create some projects. I mail out all the stuff to you, or I can have it for porch pickup. You can decide if you want to add on the bundle, but you're going to get $25 in product. So for this month that we're doing for January, we're doing lots of heart. And for February, we're actually doing the Snailed It suite. So if any of you are interested in the snails, you'll have some projects designed and some products. So that's the club, and I will post a link and I will also send it to you, Sandra. I was going to show you my Stamp Camp cards. Okay, so let me show you a couple of things with Stamp Camp. So one of the things that I love to do, as I mentioned before, is I like to do these little surprise and delight type things for people. So little pillow gifts. And usually we pick a theme that's not necessarily something everybody's going to be using on their project. So for Stamp Camp, we did the ice cream bundle and we did the In Bloom bundle. But because we have this gorgeous paper in our celebration offering, we did some gifts with like Jen and I did some gifts. And we each designed a gift, and then we both mass produced them for our people. So Jen designed this beautiful little tea pouch, which is actually using one of our clear envelopes. And then we just did a little tag topper and used the strawberry stamp set. I can't remember if it's the Berry Blessings or the one that's in the mini catalog. And then we just created this cute little pouch. Then we also decorated a pizza box because it's been kind of a tradition going now for the last couple of stamp camps that I always do a cookie, a custom cookie. So I have a lady in Markham that I basically just send her a sample of a paper or color or just a theme that we want to go with, and then she always does it. So wait till you see this cookie. So here's the box, and then here is the cookie she created. Like, if you guys have seen the the Berry Delight DSP, I just feel like she kind of nailed it. So I just told her, you know, if you can incorporate strawberries and blueberries, that would be great. And then I sent her a picture of the sentiments and said, and if you can duplicate the font, that would be awesome. So if you look at your stamp set, you'll see that she pretty much nailed the sentiment. These cookies are actually delicious. Like, I ate one yesterday, and not only do they look beautiful, but they're delicious. But now you want to see the cards, right? So I have 8 of the 10 to show you because I was monitoring the chat and stuff while Jen was doing hers, so I didn't get to finish her cards. But I did 5 with the ice cream, sweet ice cream stamp set. So this is one. This was a fan favorite. I think many people like pink like me. So this one we just punched out the ice cream scoops and used the designer series paper as the backdrop. This one here was a fun little technique or layout that was inspired by Lisa Curcio. And so we taught everybody how to make this angled cut and then put a strip through and cut the sides. And then this one here, just again, a fun layout. When I was designing my cards, I was trying to really pick layouts that people could easily reproduce and use with other stamp sets and to do more projects with the ice cream bundle. Then we have this one here. This one is actually not using the ice cream builder punch at all. It just used the designer series paper. We've got some of the new acetate from the hydrangea suite and just like a fun birthday card. So you could do a birthday card just using some DSP and a sentiment. And then this one was another one. This was inspired by Lisa Hardy. I got a card from her in a swap. And she did a completely different color combination, but I just was seeing the soft sea foam and the Bermuda Bay. And so that was the color combination we used for that. So those were the 5 cards using this sweet ice cream stamp set. And then the 3 that I did using the In Bloom was this one. And Jennifer showed us this cool technique of how to tear the corner of the paper and actually split it. This is actually 1 sheet of cardstock. Mine didn't turn out as beautifully as hers. And then we used lots of Wink of Stella. So she actually had colored the flower in her sample, but wouldn't you know, I ran out of Wink of Stella yesterday. So I was able to do the splatter on the background, but not color my flower, but still turned out really cute. And we used matte black dots. This was another one that she had designed. And so lots of purple in here with the purple posy. And then we just did a fun little thing with the sentiment. The sentiments in the In Bloom stamp set are just fabulous. This one is my favorite, the sentiment. It says, "Congrats, you're so fancy now." So I could just think of so many people that I would want to give that to. I just love the "you're so fancy now." And this was a fun fold. Okay, so it was really cool. There were 2 other beautiful cards that everyone got to make. I just didn't have a chance to make them, but I will because I want to have them on hand. They were beautiful. So these are the 8 out of the 10, and then, you know, the little pillow gift. So I would love for you guys to join us because it really is a fun event. It's a nice opportunity to connect. It's obviously not like being in person, but it's it was just really cool that so many of us were able to connect and stamp together from all over North America. And so there are some spots available. I would love to have you join us, and it's going to be on June 5th. So I will post the link so that you can check out the upcoming events. And then please don't hesitate to reach out, because sometimes I put things in a link and it might not make sense to people. So just reach out if you have any questions. So I want to thank you all so much for joining me. This is so fun. I really look forward to Sunday mornings. Like, not going to lie, I was begged this morning because of stamp camp and everything, but just being here and hanging out with all of you and seeing your comments really energizes me. Quick thing, you want to for sure not leave your envelopes naked, okay? So with this particular note card and envelope, I mean, you've got a white envelope here. You could totally do a coordinated look with that. You could stamp just the flap, or you could do a little flower in the corner here. So lots of possibilities, but not going to do that now because I've kept you for long enough. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I hope you all have a fabulous day and a really awesome week ahead. And I will be back here on Wednesday at 8:30. And if you have any requests for bundles or stamp sets or things you would like to see, or I'm not a huge fancy technique girl, but if you have anything in particular you want me to show you, comment below and I will do my best to accommodate. Have a good day, everyone. Bye for now.